Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me this evening. The 78 of you who signed up on LinkedIn, thank you so much. And we have others on other platforms. We are now live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So thank you to all of you who are able to join me tonight. And some may be catching up on this content later on in a recording that I send out. But thank you. You're going to learn some really cool things. It's called Leadership Truths Exposed. I have over 3 decades in leadership, so I'm going to give you some really good tidbits on how to overcome these things if you encounter them. This is part of my Your Leadership Sucks series. No, your leadership doesn't suck. It's just a fancy name for marketing. The fact that you're here proves that. All right, a little bit about me, because I always get a lot of new people, and I get so excited about the leadership content that I forget to introduce myself. So really quick, my name is Anthony Perkins. My doctorate is in leadership. That's why I'm so passionate about leadership. I've been blessed now to have a 32-year career in leadership, mostly on the education side of things. I started out as a 7th and 8th grade math and science junior high teacher, and then I moved up to an assistant principalship. Then I was a school principal for 10 years, then a district director for 4, and then a 9-year school superintendent. I retired, took 11 months off to catch up on my sleep. I needed after that to get back to my purpose, which is leadership. So I joined a school district and I coached their school principals. On the side, I do a lot of consulting with organizations. As of June 1, 2025, I will be going full-time with my consulting because I'd love to get out there and partner with all kinds of organizations, be it education or business or medical or real estate, et cetera, and help them build strong teams, help them with their culture, help them with their communication, help them with their systems, et cetera, I've been around the block, so I have a lot of knowledge to share and teach and help others. I also have a lot of learning to do still. And that's why I'm here tonight, to help you out. Grab a few nuggets, and within 24 hours, please implement them into your daily practices, making you a be better person. The sooner you implement things, it might be ugly at first, and that's okay. But the sooner you implement things, in time, you become better and better, more experienced at it. As a leader, no matter if you're in your 32nd year like me, or beginning, or your 15th or 20th, you always should push yourself to evolve as a leader. Find conferences, workshops, books to read, documentaries of leaders that have gone through adversity, but have overcome that adversity to do great things. Keep stretching yourself to learn, so you're just better for the teammates in front of you. All right, let's finally get into it. And if at any time you have any comments, put it in the comments section. I'm going to transition my thing here, my little platform, into the comments so I can see if anything pops up. If you have any questions or need clarity at any time, please go to the comments and put them in so I can answer them right here, right now, live. All right, I'm going to start with a quick little story here. Leadership consists of 2 buckets. The first bucket is filled to the rim, and it's called the luck bucket. The second bucket is called the experience bucket, and it's empty. Your job as you evolve as a leader, advance, improve, is to fill up that experience bucket before your luck bucket runs dry. And that applies to any area of leadership and any year that you may be a novice leader. You may be 10 years in, you may be 30 years in. You're always trying to fill up that experience bucket before all that luck runs out. So that's just a cute kind of story, metaphor to start us off, and for you to really think about what are you going to do to fill up that leadership bucket. All right, I'm going to share with you 11 leadership truths tonight. 11, not 10, because 11 is just a funky number, and I want it to be a little different tonight. So let's jump into it. First, I'm going to expose you to what the 11 are. Then I'm going to back up and get into it. Let's see. Let's do this one here. Yeah. All right. The first 6 I'm going to talk about is the interview process, but if you don't get the job, why? I'm going to expose why you're not getting a job, even though you went in and you kicked butt. The The second, hire better people than you. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Be humble, embrace failure, and co-create is key. And then I'm going to pause. I'm going to show you a video of head coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks women's head basketball coach, Dawn Staley. It's about a 3-minute-ish, 4-minute video on leadership. I want to share that with you. She has some great things to share. You're going to pull a lot from that video. And then the last 5, elicit teammates I call it teammates instead of employees or associates. To me, just because you're a team and you're mates. So elicit them to reach for it. And I'll explain that in a little bit. Do not attract attention. Are you a fit for leadership? That's a big one. Shrink the ego as a leader and build trust. So these are the 11. Now, I want you to think about these actionable takeaways as I'm speaking to you tonight. Lead. What are you going to take away and lead with immediately? Did you catch that? What are you going to take away tonight and lead with immediately? Develop a quick strategy. Keep it simple but effective. Everything in my leadership comes down to simple but effective. When you start becoming too complicated, too complex, you lose people. Keep everything simple but effective. So what's a strategy? It could be, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do A, B, C. Keep it that simple. And then how are you going to make that impact tomorrow within 24 hours? So think about those actionable takeaways as I'm speaking to you. So let's go back. The first thing is, here's a leadership truth. You may get in there and interview extremely well. You may have to go through 1 interview, 2, 3. You may be in front of teams, and you do a great job. Your resume is on point. You have that experience, or even if you don't have that experience, you do well in the interview. You research the company. You know who the key people as far as the leaders are. You know a lot about the organization, and you're just on top of your game during the interview, but you don't get the job. And this is why. They already have someone selected for the position, or they're looking for a female and you're a male, or they're looking for the opposite. You're a female and they're looking for a male. Did I say it right? I might have confused myself. In other words, they may be looking for the opposite gender. Sometimes they're looking for an older looking person versus a younger looking person. I always had to fight through that. Or sometimes they're looking for a younger person, not an older person. There's all kinds of perceptions and all kinds of things that leadership teams, interview teams go in with. We want this type of person. You may be not bilingual and you're looking for a bilingual leader. So there's all kinds of things they're looking for, and you can go in there, interview very, very well, and you're just not what they're looking for. Every time you go in and you don't get the job, keep your head up. You know when you're well prepared and you go in front of people and you don't get selected, keep trucking. Keep moving on to the next interview and just keep moving, and the numbers will catch up to you where you get the job. So don't lose faith. Don't lose sleep. Remember, you're not going to go into every interview and get the job offer. You're just not. You're just not. That's like a Major League Baseball player getting up the bat and he hits a home run every time. It's just not going to happen. Sometimes you're going to hit a home run. Sometimes the MLB Major League player, baseball player is going to hit a single, double, triple, strike out. So you're not going to be perfect all the time as far as getting job offers. So don't let that get to you. Again, interview teams have a criteria they're looking for, and you can go in there interviewing well, but they just don't select you because you're opposite of that criteria. Hire better than you people. I have written 7 books. They're all published. I'm going to share with you tonight my 7th book. It's coming out actually later this month in April. But my 8th book is going to be focused on, and I'll probably start writing that in 2 to 3 months. It's the major title of my 8th book is going to be called Scaredy Cat Leadership. Scaredy Cat Leadership. That's my primary title. I don't have a secondary title yet. It may be something along the lines of, evolving from scaredy cat to courageous leader type thing. But I'm going to talk about how you move from a scaredy cat leader to a courageous, effective, strong leader that gets results. In the meanwhile, Hire people that are better than you all the time. So, for an example, as a superintendent, I hired retired superintendents to come back into an educational organization to be a director, to be a principal. I'm not intimidated by them. I need their expertise, I need their experience. Some of them I gotten really close to, and they whisper coach me through a few things. Always be okay that you have good help. If you're the smartest person in the room, you heard the saying, you're in the wrong room. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You want everyone to be super smart in the room because there's going to be strengths that I have that they don't have, and vice versa. I'm going to have weaknesses, and I need to rely on their strengths. Right now, I love leadership, but curriculum I can do, but it's boring to me. It's not sexy, and I'm just bored with it. So I let the curriculum experts do their thing, and I do the leadership thing. So it's okay to bring in smarter people than you. If you're sharp, if you're on point, if you're well prepared, if you're equipped, they're not going to take your job. You need to stop being scared if I'm talking to you and you're in this mode that, oh, I don't want anyone smart on my team. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You want to be surrounded by smart people. That's how you're going to get the best results. And everyone's going to shine, especially you, the leader. So stop being a scaredy cat if this applies to you, and be okay with surrounding yourself with a strong, smart team. The next bullet, communicate, communicate, communicate. I can only say it so many times. In leadership, I've seen so much poor communication. When I taught communication for Northern Arizona University for 13 years to graduate students, the key factor, believe it or not, in communication is not speaking, it's not writing. The key factor under the communication umbrella is listening. Listening, listening. And I broke it down. There's active listening, there's critical listening, and so forth and so on. What's funny about listening being the most critical component under the communication umbrella is that there's not a lot of classes on listening. They teach you how to speak, they can teach you how to write, but there's not a lot of classes on listening. So we should be zipping this. That's why there's two of these, and listening and getting input, and then paraphrasing. So what I heard you say was A, B, and C. So communicate, communicate, communicate. When I work with a lot of organizations through my consulting, and even through my experiences throughout the years working with education organizations, the number one issue continues to be my teammates don't communicate. The superintendent doesn't communicate. The principal doesn't communicate. The teacher doesn't communicate to the parents. Why? Why? There should be no communication issues. Put in systems that help you communicate. Put in collective commitments that include we will communicate on students' progress, on leadership initiatives, and so forth and so on. So make a commitment, a collective commitment to communicate. Under the communication umbrella, listening, speaking, writing, but communicate. The number two reason why people get divorced, poor communication. The number one reason, finances. Be humble as a leader. I've seen it over and over and over and over, how people are just not humble with leadership. I've seen people get a principal's job and celebrate like they won $10 million. And I'm sitting there going, okay, pat yourself on the back, take yourself out to lunch or dinner, but you have no accomplishments at this point, no body of work. What are you celebrating? So be humble. After years of accomplishments, of adversity and fighting through those adversities and overcoming and having great results, then you can celebrate. Show that body of work, though, before you celebrate. Be humble. Now, guy leaders, stop being jerks and cocky in leadership. You're not the boss man. You're not the man. Stop it. You're a team player. You're a teammate amongst your team. Stop being that way. That's not every leader, but that's a lot of leaders out there. I've seen it in my 32 years. There's no reason, men, to be cocky and jerks in leadership. Not one. I'm giving it to you raw right now because I'm very passionate about leadership and I want people to do the right things. I just see a lot of bad leadership out there. No leaders with no integrity. Leaders just cocky as hell. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Be a humble servant, transformational leader. Women, you don't need to be mean. I know in leadership you have the glass ceiling. You have so many walls and barriers and limitations. I get it. And it sucks. It's horrible that you are treated that way. Everything, if you're a man or woman, let your body of work shine for you. Let your body of work shine for you. You will advance. You will move forward. You will have results. But the key is let your body of work do the speaking for you. So if you're male or female, you don't have to be mean, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to be cocky or jerks. Just be humble. Be a person of principle. And Dawn Steele in a little bit is going to talk about that. I think she called it people principles. People principles. What type of person are you? Embrace failure. Embrace failure because it's going to happen. Now, in leadership, there should be a small percentage of failure versus a large percent of success, or along with a large percent of success. So let's just say for giggles, 80% of what you do as a leader is a success. 20% may be a failure where you try some things that didn't work out. You had to revisit, come up with a new action plan, etc. If it's the opposite, where you're only having 20% success and 80% failure, there's a problem. And that's on you, the leader. There's a problem. You need to fix that right away because your board is not going to take it. Your teammates are not going to take it. You're going to lose people. They're going to sabotage you, etc. You're going to have a horrible culture. So embrace failure when that small percentage comes around. Pick yourself back up, reflect, and plan again. Reflect and plan. And you can't do the same thing over and over. That's the definition, as you know, and it's called insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and trying to get a different result. It's not going to happen. So be okay. In life, there's winning and learning, not winning and losing, winning and learning. So take failure as a learning opportunity, reflect what went wrong, how can I approach it differently, and replan. Co-create. Co-create is a new word for collaboration. Co-create. There's a saying out there that when you co-create with everyone, your teammates, they're not going to, no, I said it wrong. People are not going to knock down a fence that they help build. That's what I meant to say. People are not going to knock down a fence that they help build. So that means co-creating together. You're collaborating together. That's key. Bringing in as many of the stakeholders, as many of the teammates, and co-creating. Now everyone has buy-in. I suppose that's a bad word now. They want you to use commitment. So everyone has a commitment now to do the right things because they were part of the decision making, or there was a compromise, or there was a consensus. So co-create is the key. You don't want to be the boss person who's always on top and making all the decisions and just doing this. Okay, we're going to do this, this, and this. People don't like that. People don't appreciate that. They want to be treated with dignity and respect. Have them part of the process. I was blown away when I was a teacher. I think I was in my first, second year's teaching. And my superintendent came up to me. We were at a function or something. He said, "Hey, Anthony, would you like to be on my calendar committee?" My mind went, wow, here I am, a rookie or sophomore teacher, and he's wanted me to join him on the calendar, the district calendar committee. That blew my mind. I joined and had a great experience, and I used that experience to, when I became a principal and superintendent, now I knew how to lead a calendar committee. So co-create, bring in everybody. Bring in everybody. If they're not considered a bigwig, so what? Bring them in. They're part of your team. This is what this is all about. Leadership is team. You're not a group. A group means you're all over the place. You're doing different things. No one's on the same page. A team, everyone's on the same page, moving in the same direction. You have the same mission and the same vision. So those are 6 things I call leadership truths that are going to help you if you latch on to one and say, for the next month, I'm going to really work this until I master it. And then grab another one. I'm going to really work this next thing until I master it. Let's pause. I want to bring on this really, really dynamic leader. She, again, is Dawn Staley, the head coach of the South Carolina women's Gamecocks. She's in currently, it's April 2nd, 2025. Her team is in the Final Four. And she has a lot, she's won 3 national championships. So she's got a lot to say about some things. So let me bring her to the stage here. Video, where's the video at? Come on. Boom, boom, there we go.
I don't look at basketball principles. I look at people principles, because once you have that, the basketball is the easy part. You can teach yourself how to X and O. You really can teach yourself. You can't teach yourself how to be a good person. Like you got to work at that. It's not in books. It's not in YouTube. It's not any of that. It's innermost. You got to look at yourself and see how you relate to different people and how people respond to you. I want them to be leaders. I want them to have opinions. I want them to know what they want. I'm a disciplined coach. I'm an old school coach with the ability to meet young people where they are. The way you deal with people, whether you like them or you don't, you got to put on whatever face it requires for you to navigate through this world. When you treat people good, they treat you better. It goes beyond the basketball court. It goes beyond our team. So I want them to create life lessons that they can call on in their darkest moments to have them fight their way out. So it's all about how you treat people. It's all about being respectful. My core value is look, sound, feel. If something looks or sounds or feels off, you got to address it. The rolling of the eyes, the rolling of the neck, the sucking of the teeth, the looking away, those things to me says something's going on. You got to address it. I'll ask why. Why do you react that way? And then you can get to the bottom of it. If you have a rift with someone, if you have some strife against someone, you still are armed with dealing with them and how they will receive the information you're trying to give them, even if they don't want it. Because some people may not want what you have to say, but if you approach it in a way that is received, they'll hear you. And it doesn't mean that if they smirk, if they suck their teeth, that means they heard you. They may not like it, but they heard you. So, the communication signals are there for them to really understand how to deal with people. And that's what life is about, is dealing with people. I bring our players into these conversations because I want them to experience real communication and have a response. Like my mother, I am my mother's child. I didn't like my mother growing up at all. She was a disciplinarian. She would not allow you to stray too far to the right or left. You had to straddle that middle. She never let us get too high with the highs or low with the lows. So she always maintained a certain level of confidence in us. I governed our team by how my mother governed her household. We fail all the time. Good, great leaders fail all the time. The difference is you address it. You don't let it linger. You go home and you look yourself in the mirror, literally, and you ask yourself, what does this team look like when you're talking to them? Are they hearing you? I learned that sometimes you gotta fall back and make players reach for it instead of forcing it on them. I had to stop talking and do more listening. I gotta ask questions and listen to the answers. Making them a part of the preparation. And when you feel a part of the preparation, you're gonna put more into the execution. You have to get to know who you are. It's really important. The sooner you can get to who you are, what you stand for, what you believe in, life leans out.
Nice. Get out of this. All right. What did you take away from that? What was your takeaway from that. If you catch this on a recording, put it in the comments under the recording. What was your takeaway from that? I agree with everything except a couple things. She said you can't find leadership in books or on social media, and that's where I disagree. I have a different perspective. I've read a lot of books that have influenced me, that have helped me out. And I've read, I've been on YouTube where people have influenced me because I've grabbed some videos that I've watched people overcome adversity, overcome tragedies, to go on and do great things. So videos can help you and books can help you. That's the only thing I thought that was odd that she would say. But everything else I totally agreed with her on. Let's bring back to the stage what she was, some of my key points. But again, put in the comments. I'm going to put the comments up. Put in the comments, what were your reflection points? What hit home with you? What's one thing you may take from that video and implement tomorrow? Let's move on to the last 5 leadership truths that I want to expose. And I took one of these from her. Elicit teammates to reach for it. What does that mean? So imagine you're a Major League Baseball coach. You're the manager of, say, the Arizona Diamondbacks or whatever your team is, Boston Red Sox, Yankees, etc. Well, while your team's out in the field, you're in the dugout, and your job is to observe and coach. Observe and coach. So you train your team. Obviously, you have practices, and you train your team. But then when game time comes, you observe and coach. So you let them do the work. You let them reach for it. Leaders have a bad habit of trying to fix everything. Don't do that. Don't do that. Train your team up, your teammates, and then stand back and observe and coach. Observe and coach. Let them reach for it. Let them do their thing. Don't micromanage them. Be there for support, but don't try to fix everything. Cognitive coach them. Don't give them the answer. Lead them to the answer. So hopefully you got that piece, because sometimes, well, many times leaders try to fix everything. There's a time and a place for that, but when it's a time not to, let them reach for it. Let them learn it. Let them earn it. Let them do the work. Next bullet, do not attract attention. My superintendent friend, Dr. Jaime Rivera, is really good with this. And it took me a minute to figure this out, because he's doing some dynamic things in his district. And he found out early on, when you're doing different, when you're doing unique, when you're doing dynamic, people get jealous. People get jealous. I don't know why, but people get jealous. Folks, there's not one reason that you should be getting jealous of anything or anybody. If you want what they want, go out and earn it. But don't attract attention to you as a leader. Just do your thing. What did I say earlier? Have that body of work and let that shine for you. Don't bring a lot of attention on you. There's a lot of leaders out there that are making a lot of mistakes with this attention economy. I gotta do this on social media. I gotta do that. And be humble in your approach. Every once in a while, maybe put something on social media, but don't every 5 minutes, every 5 seconds attract attention to you. Because people they get jealous and they throw rocks at you, or they try to make you look bad, or the way they're doing it is wrong. Just be quiet, humble, get results, let your body of work shine. Next bullet, are you a fit for leadership? I see so many people trying to be leaders, and they're just not leaders. Maybe they're the number 2, number 3, number 4 person, but they're not the primary leader. And they just need to be honest with themselves. These leaders, these people are trying to be they're more of a paycheck leader versus a purpose and passion leader. Did you catch that? They're more of a paycheck leader. They're there for the paycheck rather than a purpose or passion leader. A leader that's trying to evolve and do the right thing and do great things. So are you a fit? True story. I was around someone and they said, I don't want to be a teacher anymore. I want to be a principal because they make say $25,000 more. And I said, well, why would you want to be a principal when you're a teacher and you just started out being a teacher? Well, because I'm having a child and I need to make more money. Are you for real with that? That's what I'm talking about when it comes to people, when it comes to leadership. Do it for the right reasons. It's for purpose and passion. Purpose and passion, not paycheck. That's a great example of a paycheck leader trying to become a leader. Now, it's funny, he may have gone on to be a leader. People can interview well because they study books really well, and they tell the interview committees the right thing, and maybe the interview committee wants that type of person, and they get the job, and then they get in there and they realize, oh, this is a lot of work, and the only way you're going to survive is you have that purpose and passion to help you throughout leadership. So think about it. Are you truly a fit for leadership to be the top person, or are you really a supporting number 2, 3, 4 person? Shrink the ego, kind of hit on it a little earlier. Leadership, you have a lot of power, authority, and influence. And to utilize those elements, shrink your ego. Shrink your ego. Shrink it. Be a humble leader. Don't be loud and proud. Let your body of work shine for you and be your calling card, but shrink the ego. A lot of leaders have egos. EGO could be edging God out, could be edging greatness out, but ego is a very powerful thing. And if you learn how to tame it and just be a strong, humble leader, you will get more results and have a longer tenure as a leader than if you were to have that ego at its highest level. People don't like that. Teammates don't like that. Be a teammate. Be a team player. Be a humble leader. Lastly, build trust. Build trust. The late, great, what's his name? Oh, geez, his name escapes me. Zig Ziglar has a philosophy that I use. It's called know, like, trust. Know, like, and trust. Let people get to know you. Build a relationship with them so they can like you and trust you. Know, like, trust. So as a leader coming in, build relationships with your teammates. Let them get to know you. Be vulnerable. Vulnerable means courageous, not weak. And tell your story. Tell your story as a leader. This is me, Anthony Perkins. This is my story. I'm glad to join the team. Yes, I'm the primary leader, but everyone's a leader in this organization. I'm going to treat you as such. Build that trust so they know, then they like you, then they trust you. Okay, what are your thoughts? I got one comment. I didn't have it on the comment screen. Let me show this. All right, thank you. Listen and engage the discomfort you see and help the person grow. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Listen, key again. Dawn said it. I said it. Now this gentleman is saying it. Listen and engage the discomfort you see and help the person grow. Great advice. Thank you, sir, for sharing. So again, what's some actionable takeaways? What are you going to take away from here? 1 or 2 things to lead immediately. Develop a quick strategy, 3-step strategy. 1, 2, 3, ABC. Make an impact tomorrow. Do this within 24 hours, or you're going to forget, and you're going to go right back into the usual leadership methodology that you're using. And your point here was to grow. So always have some takeaways, no matter if it's my live events or other events. And how do you do that? I'm going to skip to here. This is called the Courage Ladder. You can find it anywhere out there in research or on the internet. And I like to use this with teams or with individuals. Think of this ladder as you at the bottom step or ladder part of it, and you're going all the way to the top. Where it says getting started, put your goal up there. And then go back to the bottom, action 1. What's that first step, that first action you're going to take towards your goal? Action 2, what's that second action you're going to take toward the goal? Action 3, what's the next action you're going to take towards your goal? And action 4, what's your final action to get to your goal? So did you get that? So you can put any version of this together in your mind or as you draw it out and say, my goal's at the top. What are 3 steps or 4 steps I'm going to need to take to get to my goal? That can be a starting point for you. Another starting point, reflective questions. What specific goal do you want to accomplish? How will you know you have reached that goal? Some type of measurement. And then lastly, are there any barriers keeping you from reaching the goal? Any barriers? There will always be something in your way. And how do you go around it, go over it, smash the goal, go through it? You have to, it's important as a leader to have that mindset. Another set of reflective questions to get you started. What's working, what's not working, and what needs immediate attention? So those are 3 little methods, the courageous ladder, and I just gave you 2 set of reflective questions that get you off the ground, to get you started. Let's go back. All right, future topics. I am going to do a topic, and these are just generic topics. I'm going to clean them up. Some type of self-care for leaders, because leadership is tough, and we need to make sure the stress on our bodies is very minimal, so we can be 100% for the people in front of us. So I'm going to do something along the lines of leadership self-care, 7 leadership villains, things that are holding you back. Maybe it could be attitudes, it could be habits, etc. Leadership name or game. What do I mean by that? Are you just surviving as a leader because of your name? Maybe you're connected to someone. Maybe you did something years ago, but you're cruising now. Or your leadership is because of your game. Your leadership strong because of your game, your leadership game. And then send in. I would love comments of topics you want to hear about, and I can present those during my live events. I love to do that. My newest book is coming out this month. It is April of 2025, and I should get my books around April 24th. So in about 3-ish weeks. And off the bat, I'm giving 50% off, a promotional code. If you put in my favorite team, Buffalo Bills, in the number 67, when you order it via this QR code, just put in this promotional code, you get 50% off. So for the first month, I want my book out there, so I'm doing a promotion for that. It's called Suck 10 Micro Moves to Elevate You from Suck to Significance. And I won't tell you what a micro move is, but it just takes those little micro moves to really catapult you forward. And we talked about these things here. All right, the challenge is on. What's one big thing you're going to take away from tonight? We're almost done. One big thing you're going to take away from tonight. One big thing. And do within 24 hours. You have to do that, folks, if you want to start getting off the ground as a leader. I have my consulting firm, Perkup LLC, and I do leadership coaching, organizational training, and inspirational speaking. And I would love to partner with you and your organization to help you out to really advance, to move your team from a group to a team, to help you with communication systems, to help you in all areas that you need. I do customized training. I talk with you. My first question is, what result do you want from my training? What result do you want from my training? And then I set up a plan, a customized plan to help you out. And we step through it and we get your team there. I don't leave you until you have results. You can contact me on LinkedIn. There we go. I'm under Dr. Anthony J. Perkins when it comes to LinkedIn. Here's my email address right here. My website, you can see a little bit more about me and my services. Going on my website, you get to know a lot about me. It's that know, like, trust that Zig Ziglar presented. So go there. And some other places you can reach out to me. YouTube, I have my own YouTube channel. And it's under Dr. Anthony J. Perkins. At Instagram, I'm at Perkup67, and Facebook, Anthony J. Perkins. All right, folks, this will do it. Thank you to the one comment. Now, I'm getting on your case, audience, because I can go on and watch a video of a cat falling off a fence, and there's 20 million comments and 20 million likes. Come on. And I'm giving you stuff that helps you with leadership, personally and professionally, and I get 1 or 2 comments. Come on. I think we need to pump this up a little more. But thank you for joining me. As always, be good, do good. God bless, and go Buffalo Bills. I will see you real soon with another live event. God bless you and keep pushing.